Cheers, Simon. How are
Hey, Dimitri, nice to meet you. Hey.
We have some very, very interesting stuff to discuss. A new Subway to Sally album, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, we're coming up with a new record. It's going to be released on December 20th, and
Mm-hmm.
it's our 15th studio record. For anyone who's not familiar with the band, we are Subway to Sally from Potsdam, Germany. Potsdam is located pretty close to Berlin, which is the capital of Germany.
Mm-hmm.
And uh, we are together for about 32 years now. And yeah, as I told you before, this is studio album number 15. So yeah, if we want to talk about the history of the band,
No,
we
no, no,
might need
no. I
time.
would like to only if you want, because I want to
Yeah.
start this because after Himmelfahrt, this no, Himmelfahrt was supposed to be the last Subway to Sally album. Is it
Yeah.
true?
In some ways.
Okay,
Yeah.
please elaborate.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah. So it's complicated. So I need to say that when we were producing Himmelfahrt, we were at the end of the Corona pandemic, and
Okay.
that was a strange time for us being an artist. So there were bands handling the situation very well, and Subway to City wasn't at all handling it well. So it was pretty difficult for us, and it felt pretty exhausting to stick together as a band in general. And so we did this record, and then something, let's say something magic happened. Because when you're together for about 30 years, it's not like, yeah, there's so much inspiration. Let's do another record. Let's do another record. Let's write more stuff. So, as I told you before, it's like being together in a very long-lasting marriage. Things are just getting lame and things are getting difficult. And so we did this record, and then it turned out to be a pretty good record. So anyone was loving it. The band was loving it, and that's not usual. When you
Okay.
take a listen. Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. When you've done, I don't know, a couple of records, and you do record number 14, and um, you have a listen for, I don't know, for about 4,000 times or something like that when you're doing the production. And you usually don't pull it out of the shelf to have a listen just for joy, but it happened. So I like the record still today, and we the whole band likes the record till today. And then we went on tour, we played the songs live, and the fans, they were digging the record, and that gave us back so much energy. And the band was, in some parts, we were reborn, if you want. So
Mm-hmm.
the yeah, there was a new spark in lighting the fire within the band. And this is really remarkable, because there are not so many bands that experienced this after being together for about 30 years. And so we kept the flame burning, and it really felt at this point of time, 1.5 years ago, it felt like this could possibly be the last record this band is doing. We didn't talk about finishing the band at all, so we thought, yeah, probably the last studio record, and then just making legacy, just playing
Right.
the old stuff, making tours and things. But then the joy was back in doing new stuff and new material. And so postmortem happened just 1 year after releasing Himmelfahrt. We were sending the masters to the record label and said, people, that's our new record. And because we thought Himmelfahrt could be the last one we are doing in our career, we thought that the title postmortem is just fine for the next studio record.
Yeah,
And now,
there is a joke there, somewhere, right?
yeah, yeah, so we will see what the future might bring, but it's not, as I told you before, it's not like having your first band with friends and sitting together around a fire and writing the first stuff and being full of energy and playing tours that last for, I don't know, for months
Mm.
or something. So we are old, but we're fine with that. And yeah, everything is fine. Everything feels in a strange but in an amazing way. Everything feels right at this point of time.
First of all, let me say that I really, really appreciate this honesty. For a band that's has been around for 30 years, it's very rare to hear such honesty because we see bands touring without even producing music.
Yeah,
And personally, I think those bands at some point become performers of their own music. So hearing you
yeah.
saying that being first so honest and then finding the spark is amazing to hear. And
Yeah,
something else, go on.
yeah, I think the crucial point is in being, Subway to selling. We've always been big innovators.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if people know about the medieval or folk rock scene in Germany, and there's a huge scene. There are many bands, and Subway to Sally were one of the first to do this shit. So we were, in a way, we were innovators and also inventors of this whole stuff, which is called folk metal today. And we've all always been looking for inspiration, and we've always been pretty busy and pretty hard to ourselves when we were writing new stuff.
Mm.
And the crucial thing about it is right after Corona, I think we decided let the inspiration or the music tell you when it's a good point to release new stuff, not otherwise.
Right.
In these states, bands are doing plans for about, I don't know, for about 3, 4, or 5 years. I'm working for bands who exactly know when they are going to publish the next and the next after the next and the next after the next studio record, and when they are going to tour in 3 years or something, or 4 years. Well, to be honest, in Subway to Sally, I don't have a clue. We have a plan for the next year, and that's it. And then when we are in the situation, when we have the feeling, when we have the material, the inspiration, when we have the joy to write new stuff, and when we are convinced that this stuff is good enough to have the brand Subway to Sally, then we are going to publish the next record.
Right.
And
Right.
you know, being that enlightened or being that relaxed just made Postmortem happen the fastest studio release ever in the history of Subway to Sally. That's the fun thing about it. You know, this, you told me that it's honest
Yes.
to talk about how things are. But for me, it gives me a freedom, and in a way it works because it made us so free and so relaxed that Postmortem is a bloody great record, if you ask me. So it's not like we emptied the trash can after Himmelfahrt and we're looking what's over. So no, we did everything from the scratch, and it happened to be a good record.
I
And
agree.
probably these these things happen because Subway to Sally is relaxed, because we've been there for 20 excuse me, for over 3 decades. We've been
Yeah.
playing for about 1,000, I don't know, 1 or 2,000 shows. I don't have a clue. But now we are in a situation where we can look back on such a long history, and yeah, can say let the music tell us. Let our inspiration tell us when the next music is going to happen.
Yeah. And also for a band that has been around for so long, I know that you know that, but it's nice to hear that we have probably two generations of metalheads, and some of them, this is maybe the last two albums, or even this one, maybe the first Subway to Sally album they hear. So keep that going as long as you feel good about it. Keep
Yeah,
that going. And I maybe it's cliche to say that, but I can hear there is some sort of new energy in the music making.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And speaking of the postmortem, I'm sure, and the music video had this was touching upon this situation, right? We have the Grim Reaper coming to take
Exactly.
away.
Exactly. That's what it's about. Guess what? Postmortem was the last song being written for this record.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
we were like, hey, we got such a nice title, but it's postmortem, and the story behind what I told you before, the story
Mm-hmm.
behind it, it's just right. We published this right after the death of the band. Um, that was so cool, and so it was so much inspiration that we said we need to write a song about the whole story. And to be honest, there's this tale in Germany which is called the Brandner Kasper, which is
Okay.
pretty much German storytelling. And it's about the Brandner Kasper. He's an old man, and this special night, the Grim Reaper is knocking on his door and showing him the hourglass and saying, "Man,
It's
Brandner
done.
Kasper, your time has come.
Yeah.
It's over. Come with me." And the Brandner Kasper says, "No, no, no. Good to see you, Grim Reaper. Ah, come on, come in. Let's have some wine. Let's have some liquor stuff. And he's making the Grim Reaper drunk, and the Grim Reaper falls asleep at the table. And that's the moment where Brandner Kaspar can escape from the Grim Reaper. And we thought it might be a good idea to use this story not only for the song, because it's a good metaphor for the situation in which Subway to Sally is in, and we also thought it might be a good idea to make the music video showing exact what the lyrics say. And it was so much fun doing this video. It's not that easy, we didn't drink real alcohol, of
Oh
course,
yeah, of
during the
course.
shooting, but the party scene was shooted within I think 6 hours or something.
Wow.
And if someone tells you you have to party, and after 3 or 4 takes he says you need to make more party. And you have to know that we did the whole song, so the shooting was every time. It was not just a single scene, so we had the whole story was filmed, I don't know, 100 times or something.
Oof.
And the song was playing along in its full length every time we did a new scene. And we had to clean up everything and to
To
make
reset the
everything look
state,
like
yeah.
scratch. Exactly, the set. We had to restore the set. And after, I don't know, after 1 hour partying for about 6 hours and looking like fun, it's pretty hard. And we were so wet because we were doing all the drinking scenes, and
Hmm.
with all these water, and actually it was juice. It was so sticky
Oh
after,
man.
it on our hands, on our clothes, it was anywhere. And it was a crazy story. Yeah, but
So
great.
no, no, no. Let's change the story. So this was alcohol, and you were fine partying for 6 hours.
Of
How
course,
about
yeah, 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 yeah. It's
it?
rock and roll. Of course, it was liquor, anything. We were so drunk to
Oh my
shooting the video.
goodness. But at least I love the twist in the end that the hourglass now is full. So maybe
Yeah,
we will hear more, hopefully, from Subway to Sally moving forward. However, it's too early to discuss these things. The paint is still wet on the album. Um,
the paint is still wet. Yeah, and I don't know what the future might bring. We've been talking a lot about this during the last few minutes. Yeah, we will see.
yeah, absolutely. And the pandemic has proven that we shouldn't be planning too much ahead, right?
Probably, yeah.
Mhm. So you said this album was written very fast, and I think Eisheiligen Nacht was released 1 year ago. Was this the first song you wrote?
No, actually, the song was written for Eisheiligen Nacht last year, and we thought it might be a good idea to just publish a single track,
Okay,
containing some kind of hymn for our
festival.
Eisheiligen Nacht, which is a small festival tour happening every year. We are playing in 10 cities in Switzerland and Germany, and then Napalm Records thought it might be a good idea just to put it on the album as well, and that's what we did.
Okay, so how long did the making of Postmortem take took?
Yeah, something around, I would say, 9 months or something. We
Okay,
started to write the first stuff in, I don't know, at the end of August 2023. And pretty much at the same time, 1 year later, we sent the master over to Napalm. Yeah, one
so
year.
you had made your mind of keep writing a record, and you started writing music, or you started writing music and thinking that let's see how that goes.
Exactly. Yeah, we started writing music and see how it goes. We met and made a plan, and then we went to a place called Quedlinburg. You never ever heard of this place before, and you will never ever hear again of this place. It's a small town in Eastern Germany, in East Germany, and it's pretty lovely because it has a preserved medieval core, and that's pretty unique in Germany because the 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 biggest parts of old cities were destroyed in World War II,
Mhm.
and some of them were restored, but the most of them were not restored. So there are just a few cities who have a real medieval core, and going to the city, it's like going into a theme park or something because it looks so cool. It looks so medieval, and it's huge. It's a whole city, breathing medieval times, if you want. So, and we went there, and there are real people living in these houses, you know. It's like a movie set or something. And we went there and we booked an apartment. We met with a good friend of us, Hannes Braun, the singer of Kiss and Dynamite, who's an amazing guy and a really, really talented songwriter. And he helped us shaping the first songs or the first ideas for this record. And the fun thing about it, the apartment we booked happened to be in a street called Hölle, which means hell. And
Ooh,
it's pretty much it's exactly the same word in German. So it's written in the same way. So the first songs of the new record Postmortem, the whole record started right in hell.
perfect.
Yeah.
So, speaking of how the album starts, does the intro with the choirs has anything to do with maybe that street? I don't know.
No, 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 no. Yeah, actually, you know, uh, when you translate it into English, what the children are singing, it's something like, "Give us a matchstick, we will set the world on fire."
Hmm.
And no, it just it's so curious when kids sing such a line, you know, like, "Give us a matchstick, we'll set the world on fire. Only a matchstick, everything burns down."
Oh
That's
my
exactly
goodness, that
what.
sounds creepy.
Yeah, that's what it is. It sounds creepy, and we love using these contrasts and these things that actually are pretty different to each other. And yeah, when you read the booklet, you will realize that both kids you hear singing are the kids of our guitar player, Ingo.
Oh, okay, perfect. But then you follow up with Phoenix. So
Yeah,
Phoenix rises from the ashes. Was he burned
yeah.
by the children? No.
No, probably not. No, 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 no. Yeah, I think the song's pretty autobiographic, if you want. So yeah,
Mm,
because there's this whole thing being reborn as a band. You know, we burned to ashes so many times. We've been in conflicts to each other. We've played so many shows. We played great shows, but we also had huge crises. We also played bad shows, and we went through health issues. You know, through anything, uh, which to anything you can imagine, people have to get over when they are together for about 3 decades. Yeah,
hmm.
you know, it's being in a band. It's not so different compared to being in a family. You know,
Yes.
so, Phoenix is more autobiographic, and it's about yeah, rising from the ashes. That's what we how it feels like being a member of Subway to Sally today.
Yeah, yeah. Again, this is something that I don't think people know. They see a band playing live and they assume that everything is peaches and cream, right? All the time. But hey, we
Oh,
are human
peaches and
beings, right?
yeah, of course. It's always the same, you know. I'm working a lot with bands as music producer as well. And what I see is it doesn't matter how successful these bands are, if they're pretty small or if they're huge, there are some bands that are even bigger, a lot bigger than Subway to Sally, and it's always the same. They all have the same issues. They all have the same joy doing this, but they also have the same issues. And it's just yeah, as you told me, it's just being a human being
Yep.
in a social environment, and that's how should it be different being in a band than going to work somewhere, having a different business or something. It's always the same. You have to handle other people, you have to handle
Hmm.
your own point of view, and yeah, it's just that's what it is.
It's live.
Yeah.
You mentioned a little bit about the lyrics. So is there?
Yeah.
I'm sorry because these are in German, so I cannot hear what.
I can translate anything for you if you want.
I'm saying, is there anything connecting any theme connecting the lyrics of this song of this album?
Yeah,
Sorry.
usually, yeah, yeah, yeah. To be in general, the lyrics of Subway to Sally, they always have, let's say, a second layer, you know, beneath the lyrics. So
Hmm.
there are things to discover. There's a lot of room for interpretation, and Subway to Sally is set to use a very old-fashioned style of lyrics. So that's also why people used to call the music of Subway to Sally medieval rock or medieval metal, and that has a lot to do with the stories we are telling. Yeah, for example, let me see the track list. Um, There are songs like Wunder or Nero where we are talking. We're telling if you take the words only, you will understand some nice medieval fairies or something, some stories from ancient times. But if you take a closer look and if you dig deeper into the lyrics, you will realize that anything we are telling you can be transferred into nowadays.
Yes.
So, for example, the song Nero, I was answering that question many times. People were asking, are you now not even medieval, but also ancient? Because you're singing about ancient stories about like there's a song Atlas, and you're a Greek. You should be family
Yeah.
with all
Yes.
these stories. And they were asking like, now you're singing about ancient themes as well. And I'm just like, yeah, if you, but not if you take a closer look, because we're singing about pretty actual things happening right now.
Hmm.
For example, Nero is about yeah, people like Vladimir Putin. I don't know. Donald Trump just won the elections. I don't know if this is a good thing. Here in the media, people are saying that's a pretty bad thing. We will see how the world will change with this, but not also on the, not also it's not also about global players and politicians. It's in your closest environment, in your families, in your you will find these people um, within your friends. For example, there are always people burning down things to make them more look important or
Right.
something.
Yes.
And yeah, there are getting back to your question, there are a lot of things to discover, and you usually always can dig deep into the lyrics of Subway to Sally and have a lot of room for your own inspiration. And usually you will find yourself within the lyrics and in these times we are living in right now.
Hmm. If I may say, traditionally, folk metal, especially as it started, if you remember bands like Skyclad, right?
Yeah.
Um, there is always a connection between real life and the lyrics. After all, humanity tends to repeat the same mistakes, although I think we are doing worse right now. We have, yeah,
That's a pretty, probably that's a pretty human kindish thing, killing each other. I never ever heard of animals who are killing each other just because they're mad or they're angry or something.
right.
They want to steal something. That's just a very human thing. And for me as artist, it's hard to take what's happening in the world because I really cannot imagine being that angry that I kill someone, or even not being angry because I don't know. The soldiers going to war, they don't know
Hmm.
anyone from the enemy side. They
Yeah,
just shooting at each other because someone is telling them, and this I think this is so completely crazy. You know,
yeah. The
people
thing that
were yeah.
sorry, I interrupted you.
No, I interrupted you. I was finished. If you don't interrupt me, I will talk about these things for about decades.
That's fine with me. I love a good discussion. I was about to say that what pisses me off is that we have all these technological advancements. We have AI helping us with videos, like you did. Um,
Yeah.
Maybe assisting with music making, making potentially our lives easier. But humanity is doing the same mistakes as it did some years ago, some centuries ago, and that I don't get. We have to improve ourselves too at some point, right? Not the tools that we are using.
I don't know what strange kind of interests are playing huge roles in these conflicts and in these games. For me, it's just it's I cannot imagine how it is to hate people because they believe in different things. It's not just that
Yeah.
they're robbing things or they have something that I want to have, that they have more money or they have resources or something. That's something in a little way I can understand this, but there are people killing each other because they think they have that other people have a wrong belief in something, and that I don't know. That's so
Yeah.
crazy. I'm a huge fan of the local football club, and there's a big there's a big
Rival.
enemy
Rival.
between rival, thank you, to the football club in the next town, and that's really crazy what's going on because people hate each other even though they don't know. They don't have a clue about the other people. It's just because they're fans of a different football team and such
Mhm.
things. I just don't get it. I will never get it, and probably the world would be a better place if we could get rid of that shit.
Yes. And I think the American listeners will not relate in this, but in Europe, yes. The football rivalries, I mean, they are very, very serious, and they may be connected to social problems, like
Yeah.
we have anger from somewhere else, and I'm taking it on the teams. Um,
Yes.
I draw parallels with the technology because I'm thinking we are improving this much on this aspect, but on the other, we are still the same old crappy people. Anyhow,
Yeah.
um, are you planning to release another music video, the fourth one, right? If we count being the Eislige Nacht being the first one, let's say.
Yeah, Eiserlige Nacht was but it was released already 1 year ago. So
I agree.
we had two more videos released for Postmortem a few weeks ago. So
Mm-hmm.
we have Postmortem. The title track was released 6 weeks ago, and we have Stahl auf Stahl released I think 2 weeks ago. And now, right before the release of the new record, we are going to release a third single from it, and it's called Herz in der Rinde.
Okay. And
That's pretty hard to remember for English-speaking people, but I will look up what it's in English. Let me see.
I was using Google Translate all the time, and I mean, I was trying
Yeah,
to figure out the pronunciation, not to sound very stupid.
Herz in der Rinde means in English, it's a heart in the bark.
Mm-hmm. And Stoll, of Stoll, you had workings, right?
Yeah.
What was their contribution? Did they do anything for the songwriting?
Yeah, of course, we did the song together. You know, we have them on Eisheilige Nacht tour this year,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
and so it was pretty close for us, or it was, yeah, it wasn't so far away to ask them if they want to join us for a song or a featuring, and that's what we did, and everything went very well. And I think that both universes are working amazingly good together. You know, it's not Subway to Sally is not a power metal band, and the Workings is not a folk metal band, but we meshed it up, and it sounds, if you ask me, it sounds great. Even the English lyrics, they work very well. And there are a lot of people who never ever heard of Subway to Sally, and they are now listening to our music because of this featuring. And I'm very grateful, very thankful that this happened. And yeah, I think it's a cool track, and it's a nice video as well.
I love that you had the ladies fighting and not men. That was
Oh
very.
yeah, yeah, that's a twist within the video. So if anyone is interested now in watching the video, yeah, there was a little kind of, let's say, a spoiler or something, but
Oh,
it's yeah, but you will see a traditional medieval German castle and traditional German knights fighting each other with their fists and also with swords. So yeah, it's
let's
pretty
not
it's pretty European. So give it a spin. Have a look at the video.
let's not reveal who is winning in the end.
No, no, no,
So,
no, no. Let's not reveal too much.
last question. Last question. So
Yeah.
you start the tour now with Workings, and you continue with this same tour in 2025.
Yeah.
Is there any thoughts of a North American tour?
No, no, for a tour, not really, but we are joining the 70,000 tons of metal cruise next year. So
Correct.
if you want to see Subway to Sally playing in the United States, that's your chance.
So no, there is no possibility to see the band crossing the Atlantic officially for more than.
It's pretty easy. I'm answering that question. I've been answering that question quite a few times during the
Okay.
last days. Um, if you know a booker or an agency, or if you're doing a festival and you like what we are doing, just drop us a mail and we will try to make it work. But it's not that easy, like being a band, I don't know, from Norway, being a four-piece band and playing black metal, just booking some tickets for a flight and borrowing anything from the backline rental. You know, you can even get guitars from the backline rental in
Right.
these days. So you just need to carry your ass over to another country to play there. But for Subway to Sally, we need all these strange
Yes.
instruments we are using because we are using all these ancient stuffs, hurdy-gurdies, pipes, violins, lutes, and And so it's, to be honest, it's pretty expensive to book flights if you have that much stuff to carry with you. And that's very, very often that's a deal breaker for us to play outside of the German speaking area. But that being said, it's not impossible to do so. So that was really, really meant, as I said it before. So if you know promoters, bookers who could possibly be interested in the shit we are doing, so ask them if they book us, and it's pretty simple. You can Google Subway to Sally, you can Google Simon Michael, you will find contact forms in the web, and you can drop us an email or you can get in touch on social media or something. We will take care of that, and we would be glad to play shows in the United States.
Perfect. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you for this very interesting discussion. Have a great tour, safe
Thank you.
travels, and the best of success to the new album.
Thank you, Dimitris. Thank you so much for taking care, for preparing anything, and for doing this. Keep the metal flame burning. All the best. See you around.
Absolutely. Bye bye.